we're here. We're live on Faz Radio for as long as I don't drop out on this cast, which I might because I'm doing this over Wi-Fi. If so, Titan will do what he always does.
Run a great show.
Be awesome, yeah.
That's it. That's it. I'm riding on his coattails now.
Nice.
Hey, we had, you know what? We had a show without you when you got stuck in traffic a couple weeks ago, and we only picked on you like this much. We could have had a field day, but we were nice.
Barely.
Thank you. Okay.
And you're welcome.
Hey, you know, if you need to beat the Faz in order to get some ratings, go for it. Beat your Faz already. Turn around, Titan. Start beating your Faz. Do your little shaky shake noise. There you go.
That's what
This
I'm
is now
talking
an
about.
NC-17 cast.
NC-17. Well, the real reason you see that Faz is having trouble is this new StreamYard, right? You see it; it's fantastic. We're going to make this even better over time. But you had to pass this test. You had to take your webcam and hold it down your pants. And they said the people with the fastest streams have the biggest peckers. Sorry, Faz.
Did I just hear you giving StreamYard a blowjob after all this shit you've been saying about Riverside?
The best.
Come on, tell me about Riverside, Mr. Titan.
Riverside. So it's funny. So Glitch and I ended up having a conversation on Twitter the other night, and Riverside picked up on it. And they're like, they sent Glitch a message. They're like, "Ooh, add us, please. I want to DM you." Because when I opened my ticket with them, because the audio turned out to be ass on it, they couldn't help me. They were real nice about it, but they said, "Yeah, sorry, that's just the way it is." And Glitch has been having the same problem. And I referenced him. I said, "Go listen to his stuff. He's having the same problem." I think they just announced a big scale up. What my guess is that for the last 6 weeks, there hasn't been a lot of people on their platform. And I'm guessing a whole bunch of people came on, because what happens is unlike this one with Riverside, all 4 of our streams would be streaming up to Riverside. They compile it, and then you download the stuff, even for a live, right? So when that happens, I'm thinking there's just too much activity on the server, and it's not balancing the video and audio right, because they're separate channels. That's my guess. And I told him, I said, I'm giving it one more. And if it doesn't work out, one more on Riverside after this upgrade, I'm done. I'm not going to pay for a service that has crappy.
I don't know.
Ruins the podcast.
You just gave me a whole lot of shit about not switching to Riverside earlier.
It was awesome for 6 weeks, and then it all went to hell. It really was. It was a very pleasant experience for 6 weeks.
So, okay, I don't think StreamYard, I don't like StreamYard the best, but it's there, it's reliable, it's got simple features, it has everything that we use. I have no reason to move. So, I mean, it's,
right.
What am I going to do, save $10 a month?
Well, so StreamYard is probably where I'll end up. Eventually, I still want to try it, because I got this fancy Mac. I want to try, there's a special software called Ecamm Live. And it combines OBS and like StreamYard together into one platform, and it's like $10 more a month than these platforms.
Why not just have StreamYard and run OBS locally?
Well, there's latency though. When you either go out of OBS or into OBS, there's latency, and I hate that.
I've had the worst luck with OBS, just in so many different things.
Same here. We had it for
I broadcast my wife's on OBS, and I did mine on OBS for a long time. I never had any problems.
Well, I used to do all my podcasts on OBS back in the day, like a couple of years ago when I was doing podcasts, and it was fine. And then when we started doing them again, I started using OBS, and I could not get it to. It would have sound sometimes, and it wouldn't have sound, and the video would be off, and it was a nightmare. Mm-hmm. So I blame it on Blake.
Yeah, it's on me.
Okay, so but I see that we have something queued up here. We're going to talk about that now or later.
It's your show. What do you want to do?
I hadn't talked with Titan, and I want to make sure that Titan's been running some deals behind the scenes. Like apparently he was going to talk with Bitbender at one point, but then that all fell apart because something about his grandmother.
Yeah, we don't want to air too much of that, but I'm heading up to where Faz and Bedde is now.
Fazland.
Yeah, Fazland and ForgedInCrypto's up there. We're going to broadcast from Black Harp Studios live in person. I'm going up there end of April. And so I reached out because Forged was talking with Bitbender about whiskey and dinners. And so I jumped in there and I said, hey, I'm going to be up there end of April. Let's have dinner. He said, sounds good. And so I talked to him a little offline. It was all set up. And then some circumstances happened that maybe he wouldn't be able to make it the week I'm up there. He might have to go a little bit early. So it's maybe not.
So then Nate threatened to have him in his studio? Is that what I heard?
Oh, we're gonna be broadcasting straight out of there, man.
If he comes through, I'm gonna sit his ass down, pour him a whiskey, and we're gonna talk.
Well then, mind if I join?
Yeah. Well, of course you were invited. I put you on the invite, Goofus.
Join Nate, not you. Your shit fell apart.
I don't know.
Shit didn't fall apart.
It might be a last second thing. We'll see what happens.
Hey, Blake, are you going to still be in town on the 25th of April?
No, I will not be. My sister will have just have given birth, so I'll be down in Texas.
Oh, man. Crap.
That's not an oh, man. That's a fucking congratulations. What's wrong with you, dude?
I want to meet the guy. I talk with him every week. I'd love to sit down and have a whiskey with him.
Stay with your family, Bedde. Okay? Fuck Titan.
No, listen, you'll be an uncle for the rest of your life, but I'm only up there for a week.
I mean, it's the truth. I'm just saying, like, it's not like you're going to be breastfeeding the baby.
Yeah.
Don't give him any ideas.
Look, he did graduate in Eugene, so we all know what that means.
Well,
it's not even his sister. It's some woman. It's some woman he met on the street after a night at the bar.
Yes. Yeah. Supposedly lost his shirt, got somebody else's shirt, and who knows what happened. You know.
It's the homeless guy's sister. That's who it really is.
Oh, too good.
This has been a Titan and Forge what the fuck moment.
Oh, man. I love Thursdays. Man. That's all I got to say. This is awesome. So, yeah, tonight, this is Gala week, guys, right? So we've been talking about awesome stuff. Everybody's favorite show on the Fed and Money and Finance last week. We put the producer to sleep. And so we have our exciting end
what were our
of
ratings
the month.
For that week? I'm curious what our ratings were for that week.
I was afraid to look.
Dude, I saw it pop up on my Apple podcast, and I'm like, I couldn't even press play on it like I normally would because you said it was fucking boring. So I was like, I guess I don't want to listen to this.
See, it was a great conversation for those who like to talk about money, but everybody else not so much.
I figure we can quote that cast every once in a while and be like, see, we told you.
Told you it was boring. Too funny.
Yeah, okay. So that's a good point, and I won't go into detail about it, but people really don't want to know how fucking money works. Now, people who get into crypto, they want to know how money works, but no one else does. But even the crypto people really don't care. They don't know.
Well, they care, but not for an hour of it, right? We can have a couple blurbs, and they're like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." But if we went for an hour on that gets dry after a while. But Gala Week is here. This is going to be awesome, right? It's not only end of month Gala report, but it's end of quarter. So that's huge.
You guys are going to go into that tomorrow. You're going to do your whole little deal. But we got to talk. I mean, we got a couple things. What music came live? We just did a podcast on that, and there's a few things to cover there. There's
73 views.
Look at the previous days. They're 20-something views, so it's actually doing better than the other ones.
Too funny. And then let's see. We got some play tests with Is it NEXUS? What's the hell of the game called?
NEXUS, yeah.
Yes, NEXUS.
That's what I was pushing toward, but I figured somebody else should introduce that.
Well, I think Blake, let us know. Tell us all about it.
We want to go into NEXUS first?
Press the buttons, Bedde.
Okay. So I think I'm gonna have producers share some of just because NEXUS is Playabull Games. They are similar to Gala in the sense of they're going to be like a conglomerate company, bringing a bunch of different games to their platform with their token, their node system, to build a Web3 ecosystem. And so their first game, this was the first game I was able to get my hands on from them. It's a MOBA style game called NEXUS. And so MOBA is just like a multiplayer online game, similar to like League of Legends. Yeah.
What's the B stand for?
Battle Arena.
I'm thinking, I'm like multiple
multiplayer online badass.
So in essence, I mean, you're in a big map. The enemy has these core towers. You're trying to destroy, their hubs before they destroy yours. And then, as you get kills and as you just passively will earn gold, which you can then redeem to purchase new weapons, skill upgrades, various things like that. So it was a pretty limited beta in terms of the gameplay potential. Most MOBA games are 5v5, but this one was 3v3 for the beta only. They did say that that's going to be changing going forward to a 5v5 model, but and I think a big part of that was just because of some of the server issues. I kind of touched on this in the green room just a little bit, but their servers were based out of Dubai and Australia. So me playing in the United States, I was having some real issues with latency. It'd be one of those things where I'd be running forward for 5 seconds and I'd still be in the same position or something like that. I mean, it was just really laggy.
Why the latency?
Outside of that, though, it was a pleasant surprise, I would say, in terms of kind of stylistically. And I guess just when it was flowing nicely, it was better than I thought it was going to be, especially compared to, I think, what we've seen from them so far, or I guess what we haven't seen. We really haven't seen a ton of actual deployments from them yet. So being able to, get my hands on one of them was exciting. But you can even see in that little GIF right there, you can see me lagging backwards. So it was a little frustrating, but, it's a beta and I get it. I do like it, though. I'm not exactly sure. One thing they didn't really touch on is they haven't really gone into the tokenomics, what the play to own or play to earn potential could look like, how the NFTs will be potentially integrated. They haven't really gone too deep into the logistics of how this is going to be a Web3 game.
I like that, though, because we've even on this show been saying it's about the game. Worry about the game first and all the tokenomics and bullshit later.
Yeah. I think if this game's running smoothly and you're able to play it with your buddies, I could see people having a lot of fun in it. It looked pretty clean. Like I said, I was pleasantly surprised. I'm excited to be able to get back into it just because it was so limited. My total just because of the way that the process of getting into the beta was really confusing in terms of you had to open a support ticket within their Discord, wait for them to respond to you, give them your Epic ID, hash code, wait for them to give you access, then go download it. And there wasn't really, I guess, the step-by-step breakdown for if a regular person just wanted to be able to dive into it. I don't know how you necessarily would. I was only really able to kind of, I think, get into it. One, because we've been talking with Playabull. I've been in their Discord. They kind of know my name a little bit. So when I got in there, I was like, hey, I opened a ticket. I'm trying to get into this. I haven't heard anything back. They were able to get on top of it pretty quickly. But, in terms of, if one of my buddies was just trying to go get into this, I don't know if they would have been able to per se.
Well, to be honest, how many people get to go and actually play a
beta
on any game unless they have some
very rare.
Yeah.
Yeah. Old Bull, said that he was going to be very forthcoming about this stuff. And I think that overall, it sounds like your platform experience was higher than a 5 out of 10, huh?
I would say so.
All right.
The other thing I just kind of missed out on and what I think would bring a lot of value to the game as well is obviously, it is in such early stages of development. I think it's only been being developed for 4 months or something. So, in terms of 4 months of progress, this looks really good.
4 months?
That's what they said.
Wow.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
4 months.
I mean, we've been looking at Dead Drop a lot. I mean, they're just coming up on a year, and artistically, this game might look better right now. So
that's nuts, dude.
They, I think they do have a good development group working on this project. I don't know. I just, once I'm able to get in, participate with other people, right? I couldn't communicate with anyone on my team. There wasn't really any cohesion or anything like that. I was just kind of running around aimlessly. So I do think, once they're able to integrate those other features, that will make it, that's why people play these MOBA style games, because they'll play it with 4 of their buddies. They have an attack strategy. They go in, they know exactly, it's that League of Legends type game. And once that's integrated, I think, hopefully there will be another beta somewhat soon. I mean, if this is only 4 months in, I don't see why in another 2 months they wouldn't be a lot further along. So I don't know. I liked it from my initial experience. One thing I said earlier was, in terms of artistic style, things like that, this game looks better than Last Expedition playtest, which I was also able to play in. And that's been being developed for a lot longer. Granted, they're totally different games. They have,
Well, yeah, it's hard to compare. It's like apples
to oranges.
But, I think that it is worth noting.
This is what 4 months looks like.
Yeah, we interviewed Old Bull, and he had told us he'd rather have 10 games on the platform than 100. He said, if I have 100, that's great. But the 10 that they do get, they're going to be awesome development teams, and they're going to be awesome games. He promised he wouldn't bring garbage to the platform.
Mm-hmm. And considering this is the first thing I was able to get my hands on, I think he made good on that promise, because some of the other games that are listed on their website, like this one's not really promoted on their website very much, and I think it is because it's so new still. But the other games that are listed on their platform compared to this one look really bad. So I'm hoping they do kind of keep. But I could also just be, not understanding. I haven't seen any development from those games, so maybe that's part of the reason why I think this is so much better than what we've seen from them so far.
Well, I wonder when they're saying developed, is it 3 months of development under Playable, or was this a game that was already being developed and it's only been under Playable for 3 months?
That is a good point, and something that was not.
It's a question to be asked.
Clarified. That is a really good question, though. Yeah, because that's if they've been working on this game for a year and a half already, and then Playable has been helping them out for the past 4 months, then that's a much different story.
Yeah, be interesting.
But I wouldn't be surprised with the type of integrations we're seeing from AI, what we're seeing from Unreal Engine 5. I think it's going to be pretty feasible for people to start making good games relatively quickly.
So do you think these other platforms, like some of the ones that we've been featuring on here, do you think that they're going to migrate over to Unreal Engine, or do you think they'll keep the development? Because that could hold up releases for a long time.
Yeah, and I think it really just depends on what type of game it is. I will say, from, even in the Web 2 space, looking at what Fortnite's doing with their new release and stuff, what you can do as a player in Unreal Engine 5 and customizing your game experience is unlike anything we've ever seen, and it's not close.
Well, okay, it's best to migrate sooner in a project rather than later. If somebody has something ready to go out the door, you're not going to see a migration unless you have some idiot developer who likes to do what Duke Nukem Forever did.
Yeah,
just change engines repeatedly right before they, right when then the going gets tough.
Mm-hmm.
At a certain point, you just have to commit and then just do it.
Mm-hmm. And I do. The one side of things is in my realm is not as a developer, and so I guess I don't understand. There might be potential caveats when using Unreal Engine 5 with Web3 components. I don't know if that causes any sort of issues or holdups or anything like that.
I wouldn't think so. I think more about the overall bugginess of the application, because you can move the code over, but then each version of a gaming development system is going to have its own quirks and bugs and stuff. So the moment you migrate over, you're going to have a bunch of bugs to squash. There'll be different behavior. So it's not as easy, as simple as it sounds. That's all.
Yeah.
Bosses won't care. The people in charge are going to be like, do it. Why are you guys having such a problem? It's like, because technology.
Yeah.
AI fixes this though,
AI should fix it.
It's going to do everything for us. We'll be fine. We'll just sit back and drink our whiskey.
I don't have a problem with this. Actually, I was having fun with AI just the other day. You can kind of use Chat GPT a little bit like Google, and start asking questions like, "Hey, I want to build such and such. What are the regulations where I am?" And if it has it in its data stack, which it might, then it'll at least point you in the right direction. It's about as knowledgeable as that dude at the hardware store who's heard the story a couple times. It's not like really smart, but it's like, hey, you should check this area and this area and this area. So if you're truly clueless about something, ChatGPT actually does help.
One thing I've noticed too is just because I use Edge as my native browser, the new Bing AI that's directly incorporated into the browser is pretty freaking good in terms of like if you are using it for because their engine is connected to the internet, so it will do like you can get links and factual info, like it will pull Wikipedia links like in real time, like from something posted yesterday. Like, so it's pretty cool in how it uses all of the, it almost kind of seems like a ChatGPT that's connected to Google at the same time, or Bing for that reason, for that matter.
Wild.
Interesting. Well, I'm excited to see them going back to the playable stuff. I always called them Weeble before, but they're playable. Weeble.
That's different.
It's very different. But anyways, I've been very cautious with them just on how they've approached everything. Like Titan says, Old Bull, he just comes off. He's just straightforward with what he says. Now, with that being said, he does also sound like kind of a car salesman. And he's waiting for.
He's straightforward. We're looking to make a lot of money, boy. You can earn so much. You can make so much money if you buy our token.
But he doesn't mix words though. That's the thing.
He doesn't fuck around. If they do something illegal, it's just all the way. It's like, if you buy this knife, it'll help you kill 50 people.
But he's just straight up, right? And he's just like, okay, well, buy my token, or we're just waiting for the bull market to come, which just screams like dirty car salesman. But if they get some games going, I'll be excited.
I gotta admit, dirty car salesmen are just fucking honest, aren't they?
Well, I don't mind so much. He's excited, right? He's got his own company. He's got this platform. He thinks he knows what he's doing, and so far it seems to be working. I just don't like when he's like, "Oh yeah, man, when it gets to $1 or $2." I'm like, yeah, don't. It's not him.
It's not him that I'm worried about. It's the regulators. And at some point, the regulators are going to say, "Hey, this violates our laws. You're shut down, or you're blocked, or whatever."
Well,
and then everybody else is fucked. It's not him.
They're in Dubai. They don't give a shit. They'll just shut down the U.S., right? So
that's
the
what
US
I'm saying.
will just shut it down, yeah.
I don't even think
trading elsewhere.
Well, and then you just VPN in, but then you're going to go to jails for 20 years and a $250,000 fine, apparently.
Yeah, we'll get into that later.
Jail plus the fine or jail over the fine?
Yes.
All the above.
Yes.
Or the fine is business. It's cost of doing business, right?
All the above. You go to jail and the fine.
Right.
All right. What else is on the list? Those big long paws.
Oh shit.
We wanted to start the Gala week by talking about some of the things that you had mentioned. So they had the FIC podcast yesterday, where ForgedInCrypto and BeddeOrb went into Gala Music. They did a pretty good take on their initial reactions. And if you guys haven't listened to that, head over to Forged's channel and listen to it. It's really good. I was listening to it at work, and he spared me by just putting up about 5 minutes worth of charts. So I minimized for 5 minutes and then got back to the show.
You're welcome.
The warning helped. That helped me get my finger to minimize before it actually showed up.
I didn't want you to have a heart attack or anything.
But we wanted to start with Gala Music because that's the news of the week, really, news of the while. I mean, I personally, Mr. Lambaste him at every chance I get that I am. I don't have very much to lambaste, right? So I think they did a better job, probably one of the best jobs that a Gala release has had. Not to say that there weren't glitches, but you guys, I mean, kind of recap some of the stuff you were talking about because it's really, really good stuff.
Yeah, I think I have some music nodes, and it went live, which honestly I was surprised because it just kind of was, you're just waiting for it, and it went live and was thoroughly impressed with the look and the feel of the website first and foremost. Like, I thought it looked clean. And the operation for myself when I went in was it worked flawlessly for me. Like, I was able to get the tracks that I had over there. I was able to bridge them to Geary that I had on the Ethereum chain. So I bridged them to Geary. I was able to upload them and put them in onto my nodes. Once I figured out my problem, which was not pulling down the little drop down arrow that was on the side. But I figured that out. All my issue. Got things going, and it was there. And then so I had 6 nodes, 43 tracks, got all of them assigned. And then soon after that, I got 17. The rest of my node track availability got assigned to the community. So they uploaded their tracks. Everything went fine. It was great. I liked the look and feel. We walked through the site itself. We were looking at a few of the features that they're looking to do, which I think are kind of cool. Like, I think the wording was a little funky. What did they use for when you were like holding it against? You're holding your beam against the.
I think that's how they did phrase it. It was like you can like, hold your beam tokens against an artist for access to like exclusive content, meet and greet potentials, things like that.
Yeah, that was a little weird with the wording, but I know what they meant. Mm-hmm. But I thought that was great, and you get little special features depending. It's essentially their staking, of the beams, and you get little features with who your artist. You might get to go to their private Discord. You might get I don't know. There was a few things I'd have to read about what it was, but there was a few extra things you got, which I thought were nice. I really was just impressed with the site. The integration of it, like the UI was very easy to work through and understand, and it was intuitive for me. So I know there were other people that had issues, but that's a them problem, not a my problem.
One of the cool things that I noticed after diving into a little bit more was, granted, these aren't things that have been released yet, but like at the bottom of their site, there's all those like coming soon things. And I think a lot of those are things that people in the music industry are really going to find appealing. It's things such as like a music video cameo, or like a personalized track from one of your artists if you're like a high supporter. And there's these like photo shoot potentials. So there's these, if you are an avid music fan and one of your favorite artists happens to be on Gala Music, there are some pretty cool things it sounds like you're going to be able to do to get an experience that you would only be able to get with like a VIP ticket at a concert, it seems like.
Which, you know what I found out? A local artist from here in Salem is on Gala Music.
No way.
No shit. I didn't even know who they were. And then Chris texted me. I'm going to get the name of them. It is My Brothers and I. So actually, one of the guys on that crew works with Chris. And he's like, I guess that's how he found out about Gala Music, was because Chris was talking about it and did the whole thing, and they got put up on their stuff. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Local artist here. That's great. So. Yeah,
because I think right now, I think they have about 47 artists. I wonder if it will tell me how many tracks or lists or.
I don't think it does. I looked earlier. Doesn't? Oh yeah, search 47 artists.
47 artists, but it won't tell me the amount of tracks.
1 billion.
Holy cow.
BT's
So while
on here. Can I play my BT orbs on here? Come on, man.
Let me ask you this, because it dawned on me this afternoon when I was thinking about it. This holding the beams thing, is that a very veiled way of saying it's a honor system? Because I don't think you're able to pull those beams out, are you?
Oh no. Why would you want to pull your beams out, bro? Just keep them in there. You don't get to pull shit out.
And yeah, slide the beams into the perpetual slots.
There's like between 110 and 120 songs, it looks like, currently on Gala Games.
NC-17. Here we go again. Oh, by the way, Kings of Leon's on here. Do you know that?
I did not know Kings of Leon was on there. That's actually someone I listened to.
I just posted it in our Discord chat, Titan. It shows them. It says they're diamond, but they don't have any tracks that you can.
I know they're in the Discord.
See, I wonder if
channel in Gala's Discord.
I wonder if that ranking though is determined by Gala themselves because of the size of the artist. Like Snoop is obviously going to be diamond because it's Snoop Dogg. So I wonder if it's just.
Have you heard of Mount Westmore?
No.
They're diamond.
Never mind.
So there's 3 diamonds.
That took me a minute.
So there's 3 diamonds. There's obviously Snoop, Kings of Leon, Mount Westmore are the 3 diamonds. And then you have October London is a silver. I don't see any golds. All the rest are bronze. Oh, no. BT's a gold. BT is gold. Gold and bronze.
Fast jerkers.
What? What did you say about jerking?
Yeah.
Circle jerking?
October is going to go off on Twitter if they only gave him a silver. That guy is he's going to be like, "What do you mean I ain't gold?"
Oh man, that guy on Twitter was killing me. He just seemed like a big baby. I don't know.
So the Zorro gal has already posted stuff from our green room, by the way.
He did. I know. I saw it. It was great.
Soto did.
Glad he didn't put. He just be glad he didn't superimpose anything onto that picture. You're welcome.
There's going to be a gala reward, Mr. Soto. I think we'll all chip in for that.
Oh, Mr. Zorro Gala did it, not Mr. Soto.
He was... Mr. Zorro, yes.
Oh, Jesus Soto dropped the ball on this one.
You know what we should start doing? I think we should start giving away stuff for people that do some badass things with the podcasts.
That's a good idea.
Jay Soto would win a bunch of stuff. That'd be fun.
I have some Miranda's NFTs.
Yeah, so it's my brothers and I. They only have one song, which is "Didn't See It Coming." It's an acoustic. It's so they show the stats in here. So they show like how many listens. There's only 6 collectors, and there's 1,656 total listens.
So my experience so far, right, has been. I would give it 6 out of 10 stars, right? So I got on there. It took me forever to get activated. For those of you who were having trouble finding the node activate button, part of the problem I discovered, it does not show up in Firefox. So if you're using the Firefox browser, you will not have an activate button. I had to go to Brave, which is Chrome-based, and it showed up, so I was able to activate. I'm not sure if it was a Gala solid to the community or if, I don't know, but I waited a day because everything kept crashing and 403 errors and everything else. I waited a day to bridge my tracks over, and I could bridge them. There was a button for me to use where I could bridge directly from the treasure chest over to Jiri. And so I did that. It cost me $38 to bridge 9 tracks, and they showed up after like 10, 15 minutes, and I was able to put them into my perpetual slots.
What slots of yours? What?
I wanted so hard to like rip on that during your cast yesterday, but you guys were being so serious.
Open hard?
Yeah. Well, they're over here talking because you have slots that you put your music in, and when you're a node, you get 10, right? and you have to buy more if you have more tracks. And so they're talking, and they're like, well, the slot is there. If you buy another one, is the slot always there? Oh, maybe it's a perpetual slot. And I was going to type in there and say, no, you don't get a perpetual slot until you get married.
I like it.
And then he's like, well, can I take it out of the slot? And I'm sitting here and I'm just going, oh my God, I'm not, because I was making my lunch at the time. I wasn't near a keyboard, and I'm like, oh my God, I could be having a field day with this one. But overall, it was a good experience. And as you guys were saying, that UI is what Gala Games should have had like a year ago. It is really beautiful. The colors are nice. Everything is smoothed out. It's modern. It's easy to navigate. You have this cool dashboard off to the right now. It's like a drop down, and it's real clear where to get where you want to go. It's fantastic. I was really nervous though, because you have to, Faz. There's no option left. If you want to move your music and get it set up, you have to switch to MetaMask. You can't have a Gala wallet anymore. So I was
transfer codes.
No. I didn't use MetaMask. I got everything set up without the MetaMask.
No, well, to use the batch transfer, you have to be on the MetaMask.
Oh, for the batch, yes, batch transfer. Okay.
Yeah. So I was nervous about that. I had heard some people talking, but Nate, you were kind enough to say, "Fuck that! It's stupid. It's fine." And so I trust what you say, so I just did it. And so far, I've hooked it. Well, I did have one problem though, because I did all that on the Gala Music site. When I went back to the Gala Games site later on, it gave me all kinds of hell about getting my wallet connected over there. But once it connected, it's been fine since. But it hiccuped a few times trying to get connected over there.
Well, I know the issue for that. If you just send me your private keys, I'll fix it for you.
Oh, I'll have those copy pasted right over to you. Sure.
No problem.
You can spend all $19 in one spot, I'll bet.
Done. Buy me a shot of whiskey. While we were talking, I just held my beams against my brothers and I just to see how it would work. So I put it on there. I'm a level 3.
But can you get those beams back, or are they spent?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out.
So that's the only thing I want to bitch about with this Gala Music. There were at least a dozen by the ways after launch.
Oh yeah.
Nobody knew what the hell they were doing. They're giving instructions. They didn't even give instructions on how to set up your MetaMask wallet. And they're like, well, you have to have that to batch transfer. It'll cost you $80 in gas to do it one at a time in like an hour, or you can just do this batch transfer. And everybody's like, well, what do you mean MetaMask wallet? So there was not a lot of thought put into the prep on this. So that is my biggest complaint about the launch. The rest of it seemed to go okay.
Let's see here. I don't think I can get my beams. Like, there's no way to
unhold.
Can I unhold my beams, baby?
Grab those beams.
Hold me closer, Tony Danza.
Well, if you're smart, you'll grab your beams with
Danza.
Grab your beams with your left hand. It'll feel like someone else is doing it.
You know it's Tony Danza. Come on. It's like there's a bathroom on the right.
Yeah, sure.
No, I can't. I don't think I can pull them back out. But
oh wait, here, Lava's on. Hey, Lava, long time no see. Hey, you can get it back. You'll only lose the points you accumulate. What does that mean?
Okay.
Do you earn beams?
No, you earn another one. Another.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Because the beams were the last minute thing. Everybody at the same time is like, what the fuck is a beam? They didn't tell anybody about it.
No, they did not.
They have any mixed messaging on it? Like the other things they've done?
I wouldn't say that, because there was no information. You can't mix nothing.
So you get points. You get points. So So I've got 1.4K beams held, and then I'm getting 1.4K in points, total reward points. My reward balance is now 1,400, whatever the hell that means, and what that is.
I'm assuming that's what you'll be able to redeem for like those exclusive experiences.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Like a video cameo or a customized track, things like that.
Yep.
You know what you ought to put your beams towards is a Frank Miller portrait, 1 of 1, and maybe you'll get that then.
So I've got a meeting with them. I'm supposed to have it actually this week, but between my schedule and Frank Miller's whatever person is, I got it scheduled for next week on Tuesday.
Because I want to see that. You've been hyping this thing for like a year, and
I haven't been hyping a damn thing. I forgot I had it, to be honest.
Well, for a while, yeah, but so I want to see that.
Is Frank Miller? Is Frank like the comic book Frank Miller?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
like Batman.
300, yeah, and then
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. All those things. Betty's correct in what? That it's Tony Danza?
That and that the points are used to redeem for experience.
Yes. And it says
Awesome.
here access benefits. It'll show me here. Okay, so I get exclusive access to their Discord, but it doesn't have a Discord link there, so that's interesting. So I get entry into a monthly giveaway where you can win tracks, merchandise, experience more. The higher the level, the higher the entries. So level 3 gets 10 entries, level 1's 1, level 2's 5. It says exclusive Discord access again, which there's still, again, no Discord access. Entry into monthly giveaways again. And then pre-sale. I get pre-sale access. And then a 5% discount. Oh, that was one of the things. Speaking of sales, I was actually pleasantly surprised to see that you can buy the tracks with credit card on here. So when we went through, when you look at the different artists and the tracks, you can buy it with Gala, ETH, and USD. And USD is with credit card.
Well, the credit card thing is huge because you can use your credit card to purchase Nerd Node services. $25 per month per node, and you get the peace of mind of not having to mess with these pesky nodes. Those containers on Windows, forget about it. Hand over to Nerd Node. They'll take care of it all. With this migration, you're going to be able to have all of these music nodes hosted there. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Hey, by the way, are you doing any sales or special offers for Gala people who want to put their brand new shiny music nodes over on Nerd Nodes?
I don't know, but I do want to say this real quick, and then I'll get to that. Is yes, we'll host your nodes, but you still have to activate your nodes internally from the music.gala.com account. We cannot activate that because we have no access to that. The API just lets us run your node. So I've had a few people contact me and be like, why isn't my node running? Which we sent an email out to everybody anyway. But we do have discounts coming out for people soon. We're revamping the website, adding in a whole bunch of different features for the Discord. That's all being developed in the back end. And with that will come some new discounts that are coming in. So if you want to wait, you can wait. Probably be sometime here in the next couple of weeks. And the discounts are really going to be if you pay up front. Spoiler alert. So if you go monthly, no discount. Just so you know. We're pretty much running razor thin margins as we go. So especially now that these nodes, like the music nodes themselves, are using quite a bit of resources, actually. So they're using more resources than any of the other nodes by far.
What resources are they using?
Well, that's a good question. We should bring on the Nerd Node guys and talk about it.
I would assume that it's using bandwidth because that's the whole purpose of a music node is to stream, right?
There's more to it, but it has to do with Docker and some other things that are going on. So, but yeah.
Yeah, and make sure you've updated your nodes too. There's going to be issues if you haven't gotten your music node updated to, I think it's 3.1.1 is the latest. So they warned you a couple of times. You have to have that done before before like yesterday. So if you haven't done that yet either, do your update on your Node software. You don't want to miss any beams, babies.
Well, speaking of beams, there was a little thing that got put out in I think it was in the music Discord, and somebody asked about, are beams going to be a 1-to-1 to Gala music token? Like, are you going to be able to transfer those 1-to-1 to Gala music token?
Are you talking about decibels?
No, I'm talking about beams.
There's
Like
no more
beams and
decibels.
Decibels
Decibels
are
are
No.
gone.
There are a couple things. There's beams, there's decibels, and then there's Gala music
No,
token. I
there's-
just want to keep
There's
track
no
of all three.
decibels anymore.
Decibels got turned into your little like
Beams.
no. The decibels got turned into your whatever the radio station things that they had in there, and then those got turned into beams, and then the beams are going to get turned into something else, and then you're supposed to be able to redeem them for Gala music token. And it was said in the Discord that it was going to be a 1-to-1. That yes, it's supposed to be a 1-to-1, but that's been said before. Whether that changes or not, we'll see. So
I thought they were getting rid of the tokens per game and stuff like that. So Gala music token is still going to be around though.
well, Gala Music's a whole different thing, dude. Gala Music is its own company, got separated out from Gala.
Sure, it's actually separated, because I thought I heard people dropping hints that it was actually just a department of Gala.
No, I think it got separated out completely into like they're incorporated out of Switzerland, I believe.
What about Gala Film? Is that its own company?
I don't know. I'm just talking about music.
I haven't found anything on film. I'm going to search tonight for tomorrow's Gala show. When we talk about games and we'll hit film, we wanted to hit music because it went live today. So I didn't do enough research on film.
I could swear
dug
that I
into
read
music.
something saying that Gala Film and Gala Music were combined. I thought I read that in
I don't
an
think they
announcement.
would combine them. They're two different of industries, to be honest. I don't think that they would combine those two. I do know that when you look at the terms and conditions or terms of service or whatever it is, it talks about it being out of. Well, is music out of it, or is it just the blockchain? Is Geary out of Switzerland? Which one is it? I forget now.
Yes.
Yes.
Both.
Yeah. So because they wanted to separate them all out, right?
Yeah. Speaking of the terms of service, let's pause here. Madam Producer, would you put up the Gala music term that I sent to you? For those of you who scrolled down and selected it in your huge hurry to get your node running, this is a great little thing that you missed. Read that and tell me what you think.
Expressly? Was this actually in there?
Yes, this is in the terms that you agreed to.
That was the spelling as well?
The company expressly disclaims. That doesn't sound right.
Any and all responsibility for any direct or consequential loss or damage of any kind whatsoever arising directly or indirectly from, here's where it gets good, relying on any information contained on the website, including the blog, social media, any press release, article, public statement made by the company,
Wow.
any error, omission, or inaccuracy in any such information or any action resulting from such information. So they can lie, and according to this, there's nothing you can do about it. Oh, well. You agreed to it.
Yeah, everybody agrees to it. Was it Apple or who was it that just got sued because of the whole, you put your terms and conditions on there and everybody just scrolls through that shit because nobody's listening, nobody's reading it.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that funny how that works?
I mean, this is the lawyers that put this in there. Like, okay, yeah, you can get angry at us, but we take no responsibility for anything at all that we say or do. And if you make but here's the thing. To be honest with you, people you make your own choices, man. Like, I feel like it should go on to all those people anyway. If you want to believe everything somebody's going to say, great. You know?
Well, this just reiterates what you just said. You shouldn't trust what anybody says. You should just wait and see what they do.
There you go. 100% fact. Or take the risk and don't bitch about it.
Yeah, you just got to throw in blind, man, and hope that it plays
Isn't that
out.
what a lot of crypto gamblers do and investors do?
That's what all of us do, man. I mean, because a lot of these we don't know. I mean, we've grown in this industry to where
I'm glad to hear your
can
tune has
trust some
changed.
people.
I'm glad to hear your tune has changed because you've been arguing pretty hard for some sort of regulation or some sort of body or some sort of way to punish people for saying the wrong things or not, or basically you didn't. Was it just the last cast that you were saying that, it's not that we're gambling, that there should be something there to kind of regulate this stuff?
No, I'm not. I'm not for regulation at all. I want no regulation.
Yeah,
However,
but you were for this whole moral thing.
I
right?
live in the reality of life, which means there's going to be regulation. So I would like to be able to have a say in it. Yes. Now, to that point, I do believe that as we move forward in this space, we're going to find that it's going to be a little tighter, I think, than we like. And I think this takes it a little bit too tight.
Yeah, I mean, this is just like, I mean, I agree in the sense of, yeah, you need to accept your own risk, do your own research, but I think there still is a place for accountability and more so anything else, just being a good actor in the community. Like if you're trying to build a decentralized community that's benefiting the users and stuff, you're not going to put out a piece of information that's like, oh yeah, we can directly lie to you. Like that's pretty contradictory from whatever their core.
Wait a minute. What is the Microsoft Windows terms of service say? Because I have a feeling that a lot of the terms of service that you agree to all say we don't do shit, we don't guarantee shit, no matter what we say, it doesn't matter, and stuff like that. I mean, how is this different?
It's not, and they're shitty for doing that too. Like if Microsoft's do it, F them. If Apple does it,
I'm just thinking that they all do, and if they all do, then why are you singling these people out if they're just catching up with everyone else?
Because we're talking about it.
Yeah, why not?
It's
if they're new. A part of it. I mean, definitely call them out. I mean, if they want to put it out there, call them out. I'm not talking about Microsoft right now. We're talking about Gala.
But I just like to. I keep screenshots. I keep tabs because then when they do go to change it, the community needs to know. Like if yes, they can say whatever they want to do, but if they've said 5 things in the past and then when they go to deploy, they do something else, the community should be made aware that hey, just so you know, they're shady. Be wary.
I wouldn't say shady. I would just say be hyper aware of what they're doing and. I think they got shook with this whole Thune list and the complaints that they've been getting, and the lawsuits that are popping up. I think they're getting nervous.
Rightly so. I mean, there's a lot of shit going on there. Be nervous doesn't mean you have to be a shitty person. So
that's true.
I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. These terms. I mean, who outside of Jesse actually reads the terms and conditions? Nobody.
Oh, no. For anything. Nobody reads them for anything.
Hell no. It would take me, I would not have anything. It would take me 10 years to try and scroll through and read this shit. And then I have to actually know what legalese is. You know, they speak 7 different languages in this thing. And like trying to figure it all out. It's just a nightmare. So.
There was a woman not too long ago who won a bunch of money from that.
That's what we were just saying. Like they sued them because of the fact that you look at these terms and conditions everybody knows that you just scroll through it, right? Is that what you're talking about?
They put in the terms and conditions, if you send them an email with this specific string of letters and numbers, this code, you win $50,000. And she was the only woman who sent an email in.
Really?
And she won like $50,000. Yeah, it was fantastic. It was all over the news.
Damn it. Now I'm going to read those. Maybe I'll hire somebody to read them for me.
Just start signing up for everything. Run it through ChatGPT and be like, is there anything important?
Right?
There you go. Done.
Drop it in.
I mean, it just depends on if the programming on the backside is able to recognize, okay, what do I want to determine as valuable information or not? But I mean, I bet it could do a pretty good job.
So I want to hit one more question and see what you fellas think of this. Because I had an interesting conversation on CFA last night, and it's kind of hazy. So I'd love to hear what you guys think What is the Gala Music platform? What are they going to do?
You heard us talk about it.
Yeah, I'll give my quick little 2 cents. It's going to be very, very hard for them to pull away from a Spotify and Apple Music, because I can go on to Spotify, I can follow my friends, I can look at their playlists, and there's billions of songs. I mean, it's just going to take time to garner the back end of just material. And so, especially if you're paying I've never paid $100 for a single piece of music in my life, and I never will. So I will not ever buy $100 track.
Have fun staying poor, bro.
Well, let's be fair here. When you're saying you never paid $100 for a piece of music, you're talking about, what are we comparing it to? Music that you just bought to listen to, or music that you bought to make money streaming to other people?
Well, they don't have any guarantee of making money.
Right?
Nor do they have any tokenomics.
Right.
They don't even tell you how you're going to earn.
Right now, you got to hold your beams against somebody, and then you don't ever get.
That doesn't even matter. The whole question is, he said, I haven't paid $100 for any piece of music in my life. But again, that you probably didn't pay that much because you were always paying for music to just listen to yourself and not have other people listen. You've never had any sorts of rights whatsoever. Now with this, you do have some sort of rights to make money on it. And of course, that's all amorphous, like just about every other investment plan out there. So, I mean, I don't think that's a good comparison. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would just take a lot. I mean, I guess that if my favorite artist moved to Gala Music, which in reality is not going to happen probably, but if they did, that would be a different circumstance, because I would potentially think about it if there was a possibility for me to get a custom track from J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar or something. Yeah, I'd probably pay good money for that. But that's going to be a long time till I think they can garner that level and caliber of artist.
But I don't think they have to. I don't think they have to. Go ahead, Titan, and then I'll get into it.
No, I was just going to kind of refine that a little. I love the conversation, don't get me wrong. But what I mean by that is I don't think people understand what Gala Music is. So if your friend came up to you and said, I saw that billboard downtown about Gala Music, what is it? Can you define what it is? What is it that they do?
I can give my understanding. I mean, I would, it's.
See, that's the thing. Everybody,
tough.
Because nobody knows really what they're going to do with it yet. And the big point that I keyed on, and I thought it was brilliant, is when you two yesterday talked about having it as a mobile experience. I mean, who listens to music on their desktop, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, well, is this a mobile? Is this like an Apple or a Spotify app that you're going to listen to music in? Or is this more geared towards the fan experience? Is this geared towards merch? And then I went on this big diatribe in Gala Stuff Room on CFA about how I would envision, how I would love to see Gala Music go, right? And I see it as a globe, and there's like little beams, right? Because we have beams now, and there's beams of light where the artists are, and you can click on that and it goes into their ecosystem, and you have a player with all their music on it, and you can buy the tracks that you like and listen to the other tracks, and you have a fan store, a merch store, you can post your beams, then go to the next artist. Mm-hmm. You can favorite those, and it goes to a Gala Music streamer on the home page, right? And you can listen to all your favorite tracks there, but here's the rub. You get a button you can push on your app that says stream to my game. And as you're playing on the Gala Games platform, you're running some spider tanks. The button you push in Gala Music plays that playlist in your spider tanks. That's what I was hoping Gala Music was going to be. That's what I'd love to see them to be.
Because I do that personally. Like if I'm playing on my PC and I don't know if I'm playing 2K or Madden or something, I'm almost always listening to Spotify at the same time. But so yeah, if you could have an integration between the two platforms, I think that'd be really successful.
But that's a really important point I think people need to consider is what the hell is Gala Music? Nobody can answer it. And if people do answer it, it's all a different answer. They need their brand to have people to give your elevator pitch, your 2 or 3 sentences on what the hell is it, and nobody can do that.
Get more from your music. That's what they say. Get more from your music. I don't know. I mean, that's very
so that
broad.
tells me they're geared towards the experience of the artists, right?
Yeah. And that's when you get the beams and you hold them against your artists. That's what you get to do, right?
So maybe my perspective of Gala Music turning into a Spotify or Apple Music or SoundCloud or whatever it may be is just off base, because that's not what they're gearing towards. They're never going to cure your. I mean, it'd be really hard for them to catch up in that sense. So yeah, if they really do just hammer on the experience side and go, okay, no, we're going to go more limited number of artists, but you get real engagement with those artists. Yeah, I can see that working.
Well, I think the other thing that we're missing here is you don't have to compete with Spotify. You don't have to compete with them. If you're able to grab a different audience think about it in the indie game side. Think about Magic and Treasure.lol, right? And the indie gaming side. Like, they're bringing in games that are fun to play. They're not AAA games. They're not your top of the line. You bring in these artists, these local artists, like I just did here, right? These local artists from my town. And you're able to engage in that experience. You're able to, fund their advancement in the music industry and be a part of that and have some ownership of that track, that music, that experience. And it grows at that grassroots level. I think you can see a definite separation between the Gala Music and Web3 music side, and then you have your traditional Spotify and whatnot, and there's going to be a trickle over effect at some point in time. If it does grow and it becomes this big thing, you're going to have artists that become big, and they'll be like, the reason I'm here is because of Gala Music. The reason I'm here is because of this, and you can come and be a part of this, and it's going to grow in and of itself if it has the right experience. If they make it so it's beneficial for the artist and the listeners, and not just a money grab like we thought we've seen with the game side. I think you can see a really good experience and maybe something completely different.
Well, it works for the artists. The artists split with Gala Games 50-50, I guess. If you go to Glitch, he just did a podcast. He sat with one of the artists, and they talked about the economics around that. Maybe it was 70-30. I thought I have 50-50 stuck in my head. Maybe it's for something else. But he talks about the experience of onboarding and what it was like getting up on, the platform and getting rolling. And it overall, I guess it's a very positive experience from that artist's perspective of their onboarding.
Well, that's the same. That's the same with this local one. He was saying it was great. Like he's like it was fantastic. So,
well, and that's really ultimately. So one of the things I threw up there is, okay, so with it being easier nowadays and with having consultants nowadays, why aren't these artists just building their own NFT platforms and then licensing those NFTs out to the platforms? Or using Gala Music like as a promoter of sorts, right? And taking advantage of those user experience things until they get their own platform up and running. And that's why I'm asking the questions around what is Gala Music, what are they? Because I think depending on what direction they go, they'll have either tremendous success or they'll fall flat on their face. You're muted, Faz.
So you think they're more than just Spotify?
I don't know. I don't know what they are yet.
I think they're different than Spotify.
I hope they don't try to compete. Like I hope I like what you're saying, because I hope they do really try to go after a different audience, because I don't think they would be able to.
I feel like the buying the tracks and renting them out or streaming them out is their whole killer app, and that's how they plan to draw people in personally. And I think if they're successful, then people like Spotify will eventually start doing that themselves.
I think
it depends on how easy the process is, I think. Because
if they go that route, it's going to be the same thing that happened with the games, in the fact that that's what the whole idea of the game was. You're going to earn. You're going to play to earn. And then they had NFTs, and the NFTs kept getting more expensive, and everything else. And you're going to see it crumble in on itself, just like it did with the games. I think if they go that route, that you are going to earn, and that's the whole backbone of this, it's going to blow up, because you're not going to get.
Then what's left besides that?
It's the experience. It's like we were talking about. It's like the ability for them to take the middlemen out of the music industry, right, and allow the artist to earn more from their music, right, and allow the people that like their music to earn potentially or interact with them and be a part of them growing.
Isn't that what I said? Isn't that what I said? Where you
just said earn. You just said earn.
Yeah.
You didn't say anything else besides earn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Isn't their whole like coolness factor? It's the fact that you can buy these tracks and earn from them, and if that's the case, nobody else is doing that. And if they become successful, then you'll see people like Spotify jumping on board that kind of thing, starting to sell tracks too.
Again, I think if they just go the earn route and nothing else, and not like trying to make the experience better, I just don't think it's going to work out the same way it did with the games. If that's all they're going to go.
What do you mean by the experience?
Were you not listening the entire time we've been talking about music from the get-go?
Apparently not. So you don't think earn and listenability and usefulness?
Look, earn is definitely an aspect. I don't disregard that. But if all they do is go on, you can earn from this, I don't think it's going to be successful. If it's only earn, I don't think it'll be successful.
Okay, that's what I'm getting at is a Spotify plus earning then, right? That's
Spotify doesn't give me anything except listening to, right? Let's go through it again. So right now, and it's new, so I'm sure they're going to add more to it, right? You can have access to these artists with your beams, and you can get extra things from them, whether it's Discord access, you can get NFT drops, you can get discounts on further drops that are coming through. Let me find some other stuff. So they listed out a bunch of things that they're trying to do with it. They're also giving this platform to not it's not all your top of the line musicians, right? It's not your musicians that are going to be the number one on Spotify and get the most, listens to when it comes down to income earning, right, through Spotify. So they're going to give access to grassroots, your like I compared them to the indie game type of situation. So creating a little bit more of the fact that I can now support a local artist, I can be a part of it, and in the upgrading of everything that's there, and also for you, Faz, you can earn potentially with those. What that earning is going to be, I have no clue. But I think if it's only earn, I don't think it goes anywhere.
You can earn grocery store coupons.
Yes, you can.
Okay, so Titan, apparently there's some request for your song.
Yeah, send me your beams. Get me on the platform for the Where's Your Node song and send me your beams.
Somebody's got to host that song on the platform. Just cut it right out of our cast and put it on there.
You're gonna have to get a license, though.
That's right.
You're gonna get.
I'll make an NFT just to license it.
Yeah, I'll do it Creative Commons. Let people have it for free.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right.
What do you guys want to wrap up with? We're about an hour and 8 minutes. We don't want to bore these people to death.
Boring.
We should rename this the Faz Radio Boring Show.
Maybe
we're not that boring. So that's hysterical. I love his sense of humor with that stuff, right? Did you see on Twitter he retweeted the people from the Boring Company just pulled out their latest bit that they used to drill these tunnels with? And did you see how fucking big those things are?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Oh my God. I had no idea.
It's hard to grasp.
It really is. That threw me for a loop, man. I saw, I read about it, that he's digging these tunnels and all this stuff. And then I saw that picture, and this thing has got to be 40, 50 feet high in a big circle. I don't know math. I never took geometry, so I don't know how the radius of the circumference divided by the square root of pi and all that. But it's fucking big. I know that.
Oh yeah. Let's see. You got so it's a giant bit, and you've got. I mean, it's probably 30 feet in diameter.
No, it's got to be bigger than that.
Nah, you got people
Those people stand there. They're like itty bitty little things.
I mean, the average human's 10 feet tall, right? I could put 3 of them together. That's 30 feet. Am I missing something?
Okay, this is truly boring. Thanks, Mr. Titan.
All right, boys. Well, it was a good time.
Yeah,
absolutely was.
All right.
Good.
Very cool.
And on that note,